The executive session of the Wayne Board of Education regular meeting of December 2nd, 2021 was convened in the conference room of the Wayne Board of Education, 50 Nellis Drive, Wayne, New Jersey. The statement of compliance setting forth time, date, and location is read in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, and a roll call was taken. The meeting was recessed and is now being reconvened. Please rise for a flag salute and a moment of silence for the victims and their families of the Oxford High School shooting. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, move to reconvene.
Move.
Mr. Bubba, Mr. Duffy. And then the roll call, Mr. Bubba?
Mrs. Albanese?
Here.
Mr. Bubba?
Here.
Mr. Duffy?
Yes.
Mr. Giordano?
Here.
Mrs. Kazan?
Here.
Mr. Pavlak?
Here.
And Mrs. Putto?
Here. Okay. Your report, Dr. Sobek?
So good evening. I have just a few things to share with the Board of Ed. The first being that one of our employees was notified that he received a significant award. And so we're very excited to announce that Scott Wisniewski, an assistant principal at Wayne Valley High School, received the New Jersey Principals and Supervisors Association Visionary Leader Award for assistant principals. So we'll be sending out a press release in the near future. And so that'll be something that we'll be very happy to share with the rest of the community. The other nice news is that Mr. Wisniewski, as part of this award, was given $7,000 to donate to a charitable cause. And so he's donating the money to Wayne Valley High School. And along with his theme of health and wellness, and one of the reasons he won the award, he's using the $7,000 to establish a Zen garden for students. And so that's a nice addition to the high school, and we thank Mr. Wisniewski for thinking of the students at Wayne Valley and his donation of the $7,000. So, like I said, there'll be a press release that we'll put together. I also wanted to talk about the audit. Okay, so members of the Finance Committee heard a little bit more about the audit, but the bottom line for us is that today there was an exit conference for this year's annual audit, and the good news is that there are no recommendations. So this is the second year. Correct? I'd like to thank Mr. Moffett and his team because they have done an exceptional job in the business office. It's very hard to really understand the number of regulations and the number of rules that exist when it comes to school finance. And so the fact that we've been able to basically follow really in a very strict way all of our compliance requirements, and the fact that we've been able to do that for 2 years in a row is really quite a testament to the work of the business office, and it also shows their commitment to making sure that everything is done within a proper way. There's thousands of financial decisions that have to be made every year. There's a bazillion different things that have to be considered. There's policies, but the commitment that the business office has to following existing policies is really, it's pretty amazing. So the other good news is that our financial position has once again improved. So we'll share more of that information at our next meeting because the auditor will be here and she will present the findings of the audit. The last thing I'd like to mention is that this was not a good week for the district when it comes to COVID. So just since Monday, we've had an increase in cases. So right now, we've had, just in this week alone, since Monday, 35 confirmed COVID cases. So our numbers went up dramatically in just a few days, and hopefully that'll stop or at least level off. But right now, our numbers have gone up dramatically, and that's an unfortunate thing. The good news, if there is any good news about that, is that compared to last year at this time, there's no comparison. Our numbers are far lower than what they were at this time last year. So the other thing I have to do is I have to report the HIV cases. So there were 7 incidents of HIV investigated since the last reporting period. 4 of those cases were deemed to meet the criteria of an actual HIV incident. That concludes my report.
Dr. Chopak. Mr. Moffett, revisions to the agenda?
We have a couple tonight, as far as revisions in the PWS meeting section, under M, Human Resources, M, number 6, Approval of District Staff. We have a change in number 1, Angela Marino. We'll be deleting that appointment. Moving on to the emergent section of the agenda, under T, Emergent Human Resources, item T, number 3, which is approval of additional compensation. Line number 16, paraprofessional training, will be withdrawn. Under item number T, number 8, approval of resignations and retirement. Number 4, Lori Budd, revised resignation to retirement. Other than that, that is the end of the changes to tonight's agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Moffett. Well, public portion number 1. This portion of the meeting is open to citizens for comment on agenda items only. Residents are to state their names, addresses, and subject matter. Comments may be limited to 3 minutes per person. Members of the public are discouraged from speaking negatively about an employee or student. The board bears no responsibility for comments made by the public. Comments regarding employees or students cannot be legally responded to by the board. Other comments may be responded to tonight or at subsequent meetings under old business. Mover?
Move.
I'll second Mr. Giordano. Mrs. Albanese.
Madam President, seeing no one rise, I move to close.
I'll second.
Mr. Pavlak, Mr. Duffy. Okay. Committee reports. Who would like to go first?
There's just one.
Mrs. Putnam.
That's just me. The Finance Committee met this evening with Mrs. Kazan, Mrs. Pavlik, myself, and our 2 administrators, Mr. Moffett and Cheryl Lighting. The agenda items include a review of the check register, financial reports, including the treasurer's report and the board secretary report, any emergent contracts. We've closed out the KRAP fund because now we have full-day kindergarten. Yay. We're receiving a grant for the Special Olympics. We do have a small amount of money coming into the district through 2 student tuitions. We will be having a shared service agreement, which is per usual, with the Wayne Township Public Library because we have students that use the library after school. We have an IDEA grant carryover. We got an update on the Shinman property. We also got an update on the business office, and there's a new accountant starting in December. And then we got a preview of the 2022-2023 budget, which right now, Mr. Moffett and his office are working on input from our schools, principals, and what they would like to see for their schools starting in the new budget year. And other than that, I have nothing else to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Putnam. Okay. Moving on to the agenda. Can I get a mover?
Madam President, I could move the entire agenda.
Mr. Duffy,
I'll second that.
Mr. Bubba. Any discussion on the items? No? Roll call, Mr. Moffett?
Mr. Pavlak,
Yes.
Mrs. Puttup,
Yes.
Mrs. Albanese,
Yes.
Mr. Bubba,
Yes.
Mr. Duffy,
Yes.
Mr. Giordano,
Yes.
and Mrs. Kazan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, second public portion. This portion of the meeting is open to citizens for comment on any topic. Residents are to state their names, addresses, and subject matter. Comments may be limited to 3 minutes per person. Members of the public are discouraged from speaking negatively about an employee or a student. The board bears no responsibility for comments made by the public. Comments regarding employees or students cannot be legally responded to by the board. Other comments may be responded to tonight or at subsequent meetings under old business. Mover?
Move.
Mr. Duffy, Mr. Bubba.
See nobody at the podium, Madam President? Move to
Come
close
on
public portion.
down! You know, it's just not right.
I think we could all deserve. It's right.
Happy holidays.
Yes. Okay.
Mr. Duffy made a motion.
Did you make a motion? Mr.
I did.
Duffy?
Second.
What was it?
To close public
To
portion.
close public portion? Okay, is there a second? Mr. Pavlik, thank you so much. Well, old business, board comments,
Did we break any records?
I'm sorry,
Did we break any
We're working on
records?
it, right?
Yeah.
It's possible.
new business, board comments. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hallelujah, happy Hanukkah. We might make the tree lighting, isn't that tonight? Okay, let's go, let's move it.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
You got it.
There you
Oh,
go.
very
Did
good.
you hear that, Mr. Moffett? Meeting adjourned.